Satam Season 3, Issue 6. We start out with seeing Griff again, finally. This is why the fan comic continuation is better. It actually has continuity. He's guiding some wolves, probably the wolf pack, through the dark to meet up with the freedom fighters, and they all chat in a big office room in Griff's underground city, which feels like a better meeting place for freedom fighters and a better hiding place for them than Knothole because it's underground. Why the fuck wasn't Knothole like this? I mean, when I first read the comic, I assumed it was because the heroes had an underground base. But then they just completely forgot about that and had Knothole be above ground and somehow not caught by satellites that should exist in a world with this kind of advanced technology. It would make much more sense if Knothole was underground like this. But instead, this kind of concept is barely used. Anyways, it turns out that Sally thinks the wind crystal they discovered in Maga was in fact one of the Chaos Emeralds, even though it's shaped absolutely nothing like it. It's not explained that it's a shard of an emerald. One of the heroes is an idiot, thinking they don't need to find any of the super powerful and useful emeralds, and not offering any advice about how to shut the search of Ixis down. After comic space is wasted, Sally wants to determine which team of heroes will go to find the emeralds. Then the rhino guy angrily bitches about taking orders from a bunch of children who couldn't get the job right the first time, even though they came closer to defeating the main villain of the world than any of them who just sat there and did nothing. I mean, it wasn't their fault. How are they supposed to know Snively didn't disappear along with Robotnik? So far, I feel like the story has been filler. Why spend so much time on this? Couldn't I have assumed already that off-screen Sally would meet up with all the freedom fighters? Like, couldn't she have talked with them, like sent them a message instead of meeting with them in person? Well, I'm thinking of the comic where Sally contacted them via satellite. Sonic stands up for Sally, and Bonnie extends her arm to get Sonic away from him. And the Rhino guy tries to usurp Sally's authority, immediately reminding me of Hamlin, as he seems to be trying to turn the freedom fighter groups into the Council of Acorns, who will veto and turn down Sally's plans and antagonize her. I like that the bear guy lampshades that Dirk wants power, with none of them really being on his side. That's good. This is better than Clint's writing. Dirk says that they should escape the princess in her weakness. I wish he explained that he thinks she's weak because she and her heroes refused to kill Snively and Robotnik a long time ago and avoid this whole situation. I mean, you didn't see the Navy SEALs refusing to kill Sama. This is exactly the same situation, logically. Lupe defends Sally, as Sally looks like a people-pleasing wuss instead of standing up to Dirk, because she wants to be a mediator so badly, when clearly nothing's going to satisfy this guy. Then Grip's friend says that there's a large squadron of SWAT bots near the forest entrance to Sub-Mobius, so it changed names from Lower Mobius. And the robots have some equipment with them. Sonic says that his team are the real freedom fighters despite Dirk. The bear lampshades that they were wasting time arguing, and we see the robots approaching a test site. We see some extra bit of lore because Naugus has to meditate for his tracking spells. Snively wants to find the next emerald for himself and get one over Ixis, entertainingly competing with him. And he's using an inferior version of the Chaos Eye to do it, actually justifying how he can do it, and how he got another one that fast. In more good writing, it's explained that it being not as expansive or precise as the Chaos Eye is simply the price to pay for him building it faster. The Wolfpack actually jump into and attack the Shadow SWAT bots, with Bunny punching one of them. Where was this in the show? What took the hero so long? Nicole is busy scanning the machines. One of the heroes says he's secured the enemy cargo, and Snively says he's never seen the hero so well organized before. And since they've all gathered in one place, perhaps a different test of the Resona tricks is in order. Is it a weapon too? Dirk doesn't want to admit he respects Sally's leadership at all, and probably still doesn't because the mission isn't over yet, and he's ageist against a kid in his eyes. One of the heroes guesses, just based on the outside of the machines, that they're ultrasonic generators. And Tails thinks he's right. Then there's a crunching sound, but it turns out that wasn't the real page. Why waste precious time drawing it then, instead of focusing on other pages that matter? It's fortunately explained why the heroes know this. He's a bat, so he knows a bit about sound waves. That doesn't explain how he knows what they do just based on what they look like. I don't think they've been used yet. For some reason, the bat assumes the sound waves will be used to locate things like sonar. How the sonar knows specifically what it's bouncing off though? I mean, I'm pretty sure bats don't know specifically what their sonar is bouncing off, and they just know that it's a solid object. Then some red lights show up, and Sonic and Sally get sent away by the Sonic attack. For some reason, because I watched Sonic F so many times, when I saw this, I couldn't help but hear in my head the pop music that they were playing when Rouge was getting blasted away with Topaz. After some time is spent on the hero suffering from the Sonic Wind, Ixis tells Snively that every time it seems he's getting close to finding an emerald, the path becomes a dead end. And Snively sweats briefly. Is that because of his Resonant tricks? Is it weakening Ixis? You know, something I've thought about recently is, in Archie Sonic, it's explained that Ixis is the master of the elements, and yet he has powers that aren't elemental powers. It could have been explained that he found magical artifacts that gave him other elemental powers than fire, water, wind, and earth. Like, he found magical artifacts and he put them in his metal claw. Maybe that's what the metal claw is for. But they don't explain that. They could have explained it here. Sally tells the bulkier heroes Dirk and Polo, to get in front of Bunny and give her and Sonic shielding from the pressure. Dirk calls Sally out on using them as shields for her soldiers because he wants an excuse to hate her, and the bear defends her. Sally tells Sonic to burrow underground and take things out, because she just assumes that he has to burrow underground. He does so with an explosion, and with two down, Sally tells Bunny to take out one of them with her extendable arm. Dirk at least admits that he's impressed with Sally and shows humility by not being convinced he did well out there, but I still don't like him. Dirk says that the Bat Gavin is his most loyal lieutenant, so he'd like him to temporarily work with their team as yet another kind of bland freedom fighter with no personality so he can report back on their progress. Isn't this unnecessary? Like adding an original character to the freedom fighters? Well, maybe he was in the last episode, but I don't really care. He just said he was impressed by Sally, and now he wants to send a scout to her to spy on her. Sonic complains about being stuck with a newbie. I thought he was an experienced freedom fighter. And Sally agrees because diplomacy, despite Sonic complaining about her taking orders from a jerk. I like it that Gavin is shy and awkward, at least. It makes him relatable. I already like him more than Antoine, with him saying and being awkward but being stared at. Sally says that she's going to use the sonic wave machines to track down the Chaos Emeralds, and everyone else agrees, letting her bring them back to Knothole. Out of complete nowhere, since Dirk had admitted he was impressed by Sally earlier, he then tells Gavin that he wants to know Sally's weaknesses and flaws, and those of her teammates too. Oh, fuck you, Dirk. He also says that he wants her out of the way. So am I supposed to hate Gavin? Does he approve of this? Will he hide information from Dirk? If so, he shouldn't exist. It seems contradictory to his established character to approve of this dickishness. What is the point of establishing this kind of inter-freedom fighter conflict? Shouldn't Dirk just be a heroic freedom fighter and be done with it? He never explains that he just wants the heroes to kill Snively, Robotnik, and Ixis, and that's why he thinks they're weak. And even if she was out of the way, that wouldn't solve the problem with the rest of them being softies. Like, the only inter-freedom fighter conflict I could really imagine is that some of them are more extremist than others. Like, in particular, the Wolfpack I could imagine being like that. But that's not explained. So I guess that's my summary right there. Dirk is a jerk. Gavin seems to be complacent with that, despite seeming nice and awkward. So who is he? And the heroes find some sonic wave generators as Snively's, and take them to have a Chaos Emerald detector. I'm surprised Snively got to build another Chaos Energy detector that fast after they made a point of the Chaos Eye being destroyed to force him to rely on Ixis. I guess it's more satisfying to have a whole story dedicated to the heroes finding a chaos energy detector, but we could have saved a lot of comic space and work by just having Rotor invent one, and like in a few panels, there, you have one. Go nuts.